Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Doctor Who review, episode number 94. Excuse me, I think it's 95. I think it is. Let me check, just be sure. Yeah, 94. Here we are reviewing the third to last. This is the third to last story that aired in season 17 for the show. The only interesting little fun fact this one, not a lot of this one particularly, is that it was the first one produced. It wasn't the first one. It wasn't the first one aired. That was Destiny of Daleks. This is the first one produced. And Lila Ward hated the story. Yeah, and apparently, get this, her role in the story was originally written for Mary Tim, her predecessor. Yes, who was only here for one season. And she hated her outfit she wore in the story. The creature looked really bad. I didn't see anything special related to that one. So, we start with basically Romana bringing this machine that apparently was used last season to show. Also on the Doctor's hat rack in this scene, apparently his coat that he wore from previous season is on there. Which I found that to be interesting. So, this is kind of what happens here. This is kind of a weird one per se. So they arrive apparently on a jungle planet with some of the forest, and this is a place of death. Like the area they landed was a place of death, and there's a big eggshell there, which scientists thought was like a temple or something. They have no idea. It's very confusing. Oh, and they're bringing Doctor. They put him in shackles. At one point, the Romana's brought with him. They say she's basically his commander, but she's actually his companion. Maybe they thought they misspoke because apparently when the women rule this role, the Swavic later a guy took over the planet at the end of the story. So then she's taken by bandits who crave metal. They're obsessed with metal. The metal of this planet is very scarce. All because the ruler of the planet has all the metal on the planet. So, Doctor tries to escape, but lucky enough, basically, he's brought for later, Lady Astrowitch. Okay, she has a small fun fact with her. Apparently, she's named after Astronomer from Greek mythology. And that the actress who played her was only 36 at the time. Wow, no wonder why she looks so gorgeous. And she is no longer alive, sadly. The actress passed away about almost 4 years ago. She passed away. So, we also see his device in the background of her throne room. Apparently, it was brought up there 15 years prior to the events of the story. And it's not explained what the heck this thing is until part 4, what the heck this thing is. Because by part 3, it starts acting weird. I hear a thing called the Pit, which you find out it's actually used to be the planet's mine for metal. Yes, used to be the planet's mine, and Lady Astra proceeds to hog all the metal. So, this one where the eggshell is, and then they're brought before the Pit, where a fool is dumped in because a scientist who wear the guy claims to be an engineer, so he looked like a monk. I'm like, was the budget very scarce for this story? Because here's the thing. The only indoor stuff we see the whole story is basically inside of her palace, which is literally one room in a hallway. And the mine, which didn't look too bad. And of course the TARDIS interior. Yep. So, and of course, with the eggshell, of course, brought for the Pit. Well, this one interesting way, and of course, Doctor proceeds to look at that with the eggshell. Nope, he proceeds to go down to the Pit himself. Oh, by the way, the reason why that Romana hated the outfit she was wearing, the actress played Leela, is that it has a very revealing neckline, and that's why she hated it. Yep, that's the main reason why she hated it. So she managed to trick these these guys, these hairy guys, to free her and then call upon K9, which they proceed to leave. And of course, several times in the story, she tries to use K9 to basically flee, but they're stopped by these wolf weeds. Yes, wolf weeds. I'm like, that's interesting. So first they cover the doctor, and then K9. So, and of course, Doctor goes, and of course, they think he's dead, but not really. And then he runs into an astronomer who was thrown down there too. And all because he couldn't clarify what type of traveler was going to come to the planet. I'm like, okay, I get the fact you wanted more info, but why the heck would you show him the creature? Oh, by the way, the creature is an alien. Apparently, it was real. I'll get to more of that. So, the Doctor forms sort of friendship with this creature. And it looks like, well, I'm looking at this thing. It looks like it's controlled by 4 people. It's literally, it's a soup monster. Yep. And then the bandits who break into Astro's palace take the device on the wall, and they're hypnotized by the thing to bring it to the creature. And it turns out it's a communicator. We find out in part 4 that this creature is, in fact, an ambassador, which was brought there to form a trade agreement over the fact that, oh, we want to give you metal in exchange for this particular plant. And apparently Astra didn't want that deal, so she threw this creature down the pit. It must have been a pretty small creature at the time, because basically that well, like, I'm thinking, like, how the heck get down there? They never show it gets down there. Oh, how the heck gets out? And at several points, like, oh, can't he try to escape? Well, can't move, or he can move. Like, either he's fixed or whatever. So, it's like, why are you trying to get away from her? I get the fact she's not a very nice lady, but... yeah, and then eventually, like, after convincing... oh, yeah, the fact that after all those events, then the wolf weeds are sicked on her, and then the ambassador just covers her and kills her. I'm like, okay, so the headman basically is declared the leader of this planet. So then apparently after about 15 years, since apparently half the ship didn't communicate, it's kind of weird with this story. So a frickin' neutron star sent to the planet the planet's sun to blow it up, destroy the entire system, all because of lack of communication. I'm like, if there's lack of communication, find out the reason why. Don't blow up the frickin' solar system for that. So, thanks to some stuff happening here, and oh, by the way, they had to use the proton drive. Of course, the Astra's like, I don't know, her henchwoman steals it, and then after basically the metals and Storm basically fight over nothing. So eventually, the proton drive, which is this piece here, given back to the creature, and then they kind of like wrap around, and then apparently the planet saves, so they form a trade agreement via our parchment. Somehow, the Doctor leaves, and of course the astronomer is basically on the surface. I'm like, by the end of this, you're like, what was the point of this story? It's a weird story. By far one of the most weirdest ones I've seen. The monster was not that good. The motivations for this lady is not interesting. Apparently, she was originally called Queen, and then they call her Lady. And she was kind of thrown to the wolves because she jeopardized their planet. So let's have the ambassador basically eat her. Or at least dissolve with the wolf weeds. I'm like, okay. So by the end of this, it's like, so also apparently Lila Ward had not a good experience filming the story. At all. She did not have a good experience at all. But so far out of my Tom Baker stories review, this is, so far for the Romana stuff, I'd say this is probably the weakest story I reviewed. Well, for second Romana, I'd say this is the weakest one so far. And it's only her third story that's aired. But next story will be, well, also I decided basically after I do the very next story and the following story, I'll head back to Jaspion. So the very next story will be Nightmare of Eden. Yep. But next up is going to be Comic Corner and on to Bleach. Okay? So that's a particular review. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, and do not hit the dislike button. Next up, a Comic Corner. Okay? Let's do. Bye.